Everybody, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is episode 346. Yeah, got a special guest tonight. He's one of the realest. We got a lot of catching up to do, man. I got nothing but love and respect for this man right here. So I'm finna bring him on. Yeah, shout out to everybody tuning in. I see y'all. Get the almighty vegan in here. Yo, what's going
What's
on?
going on with my brother Peace? How you living, man?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. Can't complain, man. How are you, dog?
Hey, everything is good, man. Complaining won't do us no good, so you already know.
Hell no.
Yes, sir. You already know how I go.
Hell yeah, man. I just really was excited about this, man, because I've been like subscribed to you for some years.
Oh, for sure, right on.
So that's how I have found you. And then I followed you through Facebook and shit. So I had to really bring you up to the platform because you just like one of those people that people can learn from. So
For sure. Respect, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem, man. So first of all, man, introduce yourself to my viewers and where you from and all that good stuff.
Hey, Peace, what's happening, everybody? My name is Eric Bell. A lot of people know me as Almighty Vegan on Instagram. And I also have another name that's Universal Adam. A lot of people know me by those three different names. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Man, I do a lot, man. Personal training, author. And, I just be educating, dropping jewels here and there, man. So I pretty much do it all, man. I ain't gonna,
Hey, that's what's
ain't gonna
up.
got some questions,
Oh yeah, man. We gonna get the questions, man. But I just like to have a conversation with my guests. I like to humanize my guests because nowadays it's just more gimmicks out there. People wait for drama and this and that. We don't do that over here. We run a respectable platform over here. So, but I just like to just really just kick it, man, because just two black men having a conversation. So,
And the world needs to see more of that too. They think we don't do that.
oh hell no, they just because I just think that nowadays people like us to be at each other's throats, man, and all of us ain't confrontational. We chill, lay back, we have a good time, man, and everybody isn't gonna always meet eye to eye
Right.
either. So you really just have to, I would say, know your limitations because I know my limitations with dealing with people because my show can be very controversial because I also do the history stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's always black person just always want to like make everything debatable. Everything isn't a debate, and I always tell people if you don't believe me, go research it yourself. Like you don't always have to take my word for it. A lot of times I'm right because I do my
For sure.
research and stuff like that. So I just always just try to just tell stories, bro. Like as far as just what happened like back in the day with the civil rights movement, or just talk about slavery and stuff. Because it's nowadays it's just we don't embrace our history enough. Because we the only race that just contemplating on just not passing the past down to the future.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
already know I'm a big advocate of teaching the correct history. And I tell people all the time, same thing. Don't take what I say on face value. We're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to research the researcher and things like that. So I'm always telling people, man, hey, don't take what I say on face value. Even if it's something that I'm a personal trainer. So even in fitness, I tell people, still trial and error, man, experimentation.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
And I love your book collection, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that, even before you had tuned in, man, I noticed a lot of your pictures, bro. Like, you always reference books and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I do that
Yeah, for
too.
sure. Yeah, man. I stay reading. I was reading right before we tapped in, you know. So I stay studying. You got to stay studious out here. They say the moment you stop learning, that's when you die. So I ain't trying to die.
Oh, no doubt, man. Because we really have to just make sure that we mentally equipped, man. Because they always think that we're not articulate, that we're not intelligent, that we're not socially aware. So it be killing people that I know so much.
Yeah.
And I just go by just what I experience and social media, because I learned a lot from social media, even though they say social media is bad, but it's all about just what you make out of it, just like anything in life. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's pros and cons to everything. Social media is just a tool. You know what I'm saying? And tools are not necessarily good or bad. So it's how you use the tool. You can use a hammer to be destructive. You can use a hammer to build. So I look at social media the same way.
Yeah, man. You are a very knowledgeable young man, dog. I'm old as hell. I'm about to be 35, so
right. I'm just 30.
Hey.
Right.
But like, what was like your awakening? Like, when did that start?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it was two things, bro. When I was going from high school to college, because I ain't even gonna lie, I was doing the wrong stuff in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time for me to go to college, man, I didn't feel mentally equipped. So I was like, man, I don't want to go in college. Like, a lot of people instilled fear in me when it came to college. So I was like, nah, I refuse to go to this next level and not know more than everybody in there. So once I started thinking like that, I started picking up the habit of reading. And once you start picking up the habit of reading and finding all these books, I started to gravitate towards a certain genre and subject matter. So of course I'm finding books that resonate with me. Autobiography of Malcolm X, things like that. So, once you start with those type of books, the enlightenment is sure to follow. The second thing was I was watching family members around me pass of certain like diseases, cancer and things like that. And so we dying young out here. You know what I'm saying? I was acknowledging that and analyzing it and examining it and asking questions like, man, this can't be normal. So I started doing the research or doing the knowledge to just cancer, diabetes, a lot of health complications that we suffer from. And that led to another source of enlightenment, which led me on the path to training and doing what I'm doing now. So it was like two things. Those two things kind of sparked my enlightenment.
Yeah, that's dope, because I always partake in mental health on this platform, because that's as important than physical health, emotional health, and as well. It's just a lot of people around us, I would say, especially in our age bracket, they hurting. It's just a lot of demons that they battling and carrying. Don't you realize that you have to take care of yourself physically? I tried with the physically part, man. I did the gym thing and stuff like that. And I just think that it just wasn't successful because I was doing it for the wrong reasons. But I'm going back, though.
There you go.
But yeah, I just went through a lot. Just undergoing, just losing both men in my life that meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just at a crossroad in my life, because it's kind of like the movie Pleasantville, if you remember it. When they all started in black and white, but then everything started to become colored, like in the end.
Yeah.
And that's how my reality had warped, because it's just like everything that you was told and pretty much embedded inside you, it was just all a lie to me. So now it's just like you have to adapt to the color when you were seeing things in black and white. So just as a young black male, a lot of people don't understand what we go through until the colors come.
Man, 100%.
And we just have to, keep educating, man, because they hate when we speak our truth, man. You see that they take so much from us and stuff like that. You're not even safe when you're rich. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. You're not safe on no level. my Facebook page, that's my third Facebook page. I done had 2 of them joints kind of get shut down, deleted. Yes.
Yeah, damn.
I already. Yeah, they don't fool with it.
No, of course not. Especially when you speak the truth to power. But it just always, I just kind of feel like it's just when it comes to dudes like us who are conscious and stuff like that, they get at us the most because we gonna teach, we gonna educate, we gonna
Yeah.
elevate our people, and they want us to stay at a certain level. They want us to stay docile. They want us to stay stagnated, and I'm just not with all that because that's why I really do this platform, man. Because it just allows me to do God's work. Because you don't gotta be in no church to do God's work. Church all over. So
hey, the body is the temple, the mind is the temple. So there you go.
Yeah. So how about you tell us about like your upbringing a little bit? Like where you pretty much like neighborhood and just environment wise, like how did that come about?
Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all you familiar with the Mike Brown situation, right? That happened.
Yeah.
I grew up like that was my neighborhood where that happened. Like my brother, like the house we grew up in is like right around the corner from where the shooting happened. My brother actually still lives in the house, so this house is still in the family. But that's my neighborhood. Like the gas station that was destroyed, that was burnt up, that was my neighborhood gas station. Like that's essentially where I grew up, the Ferguson area. Like literally, I spent first 18 years of my life there. And then I ended up going to college, and then my peoples moved out, but my brother kept the crib. But yeah, I essentially grew up in that Ferguson area. It wasn't necessarily the worst area, but it wasn't necessarily the best. So of course I was surrounded by the same things that most of us were surrounded by. You know, you got the gangs, you got the drugs, you got all of that type of nonsense. So I was around that. I never fell victim to the peer pressure. So I was around it. I was cool with a lot of those dudes, but I always did my own thing. So I never let that pressure get to me, although I was around it, because it was very prominent in that neighborhood, especially around the time that I was growing up. But I was able to steer away from all of that, still be able to be cool with them, but like I'm not indulging in that, and I grew up both parents at the crib, brother, sister, older brother, sister. I'm the youngest. So, I mean, everything was pretty much peace for the most part. Was big into athletics. I ended up going to college for football. A lot of people who don't know that now when they see the way that I eat and things like that. But everything was pretty much peace, man. We, like I said, had all the pressures from the outside environment, but I didn't fall victim to it. Of course, I did my little nonsense, did my little dirt here and there.
Yeah.
Just all did.
No doubt.
Yeah, but I didn't let it, you know what I'm saying? I was able to stand strong. Some of the brothers that I grew up with, they ended up in some bad predicaments. So I'm kind of glad I didn't choose to walk with them,
Oh, yeah. And how did it feel just watching all of that on the news when the Mike Brown and the Ferguson stuff was happening? Like, because
it was hard watching it on the news because everybody was trying to get me to be involved. I had people see, I wasn't at that time. I had a whole different philosophy towards the approach. I felt like they wanted us to go down there and protest and hoop and holler. I was like, nah, I said, I ain't doing that. I said, that's trick. You know what I'm saying? They gonna plant they gonna plant they peoples up in there and you already know how that go. So I had a lot of people, man, that was trying to hit me up, trying to get me to go to these protests and things like that. And I was like, nah, I say, man, we got to fight this battle a different way. But watching it on the news is interesting because now everybody has this perception towards Ferguson like it's a bad place, but like that it's not necessarily a bad neighborhood. But on the outside, a lot of people that's not from like St. Louis, when you mention St. Louis or you mention Ferguson, they think it's something that's bad. It's like, man, I used to walk up and down that exact neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to fear. I mean, like I said, it ain't the best. Something could happen to you, but man, nah, it ain't that bad. But now people perceive Ferguson in a certain light. And I felt like that was the funniest part. Like the outsiders getting that type of perception towards Ferguson, the area where I grew up, finally getting placed on the map.
Yeah, the funniest part about that, well, none of that was funny, but going back to what you said, that people were trying to get you to respond in their own way. Because back when George Floyd had passed, we had a little march here because I reside in Saginaw,
Okay.
Michigan. So everybody having this march, everybody pretty much like protesting in front of the police station, and I'm over here like, okay, that's in Minnesota. We in Michigan. They ain't got shit to do with us. So what the fuck we doing here? Like, and so they was expecting me to go outside and hold picket signs and stuff like that. And I was thinking like, okay, this ain't got shit to do with us. We provoking something that has anything,
Yeah.
nothing to do with us. When we got our own problems here. Let's work on the problems in our neck of the woods before we worry about some shit that's going on hundreds and hundreds of miles away. Like, because if you don't fix home, then you can't fix nowhere else. So this one girl called me out. She was all like, "Oh, if you scared, just say you scared." I'm like, "Wait a minute, like who the fuck is you? Like, I ain't never heard of you say anything about the cause, about the injustices until it became a
Yeah.
trend, until it became cool to be about, oh, say their names and I can't breathe. I've been doing this shit for years. I've been calling this shit out for
Yeah.
years, but all of a sudden my blackness is in question. But I just like, I don't get it. Like, cause I know a lot of people didn't really care. They didn't give a damn. They just wanted to get out the house, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a pandemic, but there was no genuine love and support, man. And that's what kills me about selective outrage, because people don't care like that, especially until it happens to their peoples, until someone that they know. So,
I'm trying to tell. I got the same exact type of criticism, just due to what people knew me for. You know,
mm-hmm,
that same type of criticism. Like if you're scared, just say that. This, that, and the third. I got the same type of criticism. It's funny that you had said that. And like you said, I had been talking about this, man. And that's back in the day when I was rapping, you know, when I used to do.
mm-hmm,
So I used to put all of that in the songs and all that, you know. So I was like, man, I've been talking about this. This is a
mm-hmm,
lifestyle for me, you know. And I'm being more proactive instead of being reactive with it. So when we go out there protest, hoop and holler, like that's being reactionary, not revolutionary. And there was a lot of people. I know personal people. I know people that was down there. I'm talking about they neglecting their own kids just so they can get that camera time. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can get this praise from being out here on the
mm-hmm.
front lines protesting the whole while they neglecting their kids. I don't respect that. I don't care how much you out here standing in front of the cops hooping and hollering. Like, nah, if you ain't taking care of your kids, you don't get no respect from me. And it was a lot of that down there. It was a lot. Well, down
Mm-hmm.
here, it was a lot of that going on. Dudes out here trying to
Yeah.
get camera time, trying to get their fame up. I ain't respect that, and that's why I didn't want to associate with them crowds. I'm like, man, I got stuff I got to fix internally. I got a certain way that I would rather approach this type of situation in regards to change. All that protesting was dead. And I'm like, I would see myself as like a main target. If they was to plant somebody in there, man, I'd be one of the main ones that get up out of here. So I got to move wise. That's called wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
Because you learn from other people's mistakes. Because as great as the Black Panthers was, they couldn't detect and find every rat, every informant,
Yep.
because they really didn't have any real guidelines. They pretty much let everybody who was black into the organization. And that's when shit hit the fan, because just because somebody looked like us doesn't mean that they are on our side or that they not the enemy. So we have to be very, I would say, aware of these things, because history has a way of repeating itself. And it was like a lot of agents, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people on payroll that was in the news and in the riots and the ruckus and stuff like that, and trying to make it seem like they was regular citizens, but
Yeah.
they wasn't. You know, pouring gasoline on the fire. And I like that you said that you didn't want to be associated with those people, because I didn't either. Because you don't have to always be outside to make a difference. Ida B. Wells wrote an article on lynching, and that's what
Yep.
made lynching pretty much national
Mm-hmm.
attention, was her article. So I tell people, you don't gotta always be outside to make a difference. You can make a difference from your living room, your bedroom, whatever. You know, as long as you putting up the fight, as long as you doing your part. Because I'm not going to get my head bashed in by a billy club or go to jail because I'm no good in jail. I'm not useful in jail.
Exactly.
I'm useful out here. So,
That's what I was trying to tell him. I mean, it's sports. I mean, you got a team, you got the players, you got the owners, you got the coaches, you got the assistant coaches. Everybody got a role. Everybody ain't meant to be out there playing. And even within the players of the team, you got the star players, you got the role players, you know what I mean? You got the people come off the bench, got the reserves, all of that. So I was like, man, we all have different roles, man. And I started to understand my role at that time. Like you said, man, if I go down there and get my head bashed in, one of my biggest assets is what I know. You know, it's my mind. So if they beat that mind in, I'm no longer useful to my community. So that would be stupid. You know,
absolutely.
like, no, I'm not about to approach it like that because I already know how this is going to go down. And it went down exactly how I knew it was going to go down.
Right. And I just always just want for our people to just do something different, man.
Yeah.
Because we just fall for the okie doke because of the traumas that we exhibited just throughout the generations. Like those traumas that our grandparents had, they passed it down to our parents, and then our parents passing on their traumas to us. And somehow this has got to stop. You know, just we got to really just try to just do something different. And I think now that a lot of us get it this time because we are able to have cameras and have the internet and stuff like that, but it's just becoming like a recurrent event, you know, just with these riots and with this social engineering type stuff. And you just can't be a free thinker no more. You know, when you think differently from the masses, you a target, you know, or you a traitor, you a hypocrite, you this and that. But I just look at it like, damn, can I think for myself and can I analyze things? Can I have a choice in the matter?
Yep.
But it's just now, it just, you got to be on one accord or you're not, you know what I'm saying? You a traitor, and that's not fair to me, you know, or you or anybody else who can think. Because I just feel like we just need to just get into this economics thing.
Yeah.
Economics can be not can, but it is powerful. Because I was explaining to this girl I was talking to her earlier, and I was telling her about how we were so much powerful when we were segregated. How majority of our people own land, and the land is generational wealth and stuff like that. That's why they had really killed a lot of our ancestors because they wanted that land, and they never really gave it back because they issued laws. They issued fear, because the first thing you do is make a person fear you. So once a person is afraid and they scared, then they're not gonna fight.
Man, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say fear is more powerful than love out here.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Because fear lasts forever, you know what I'm saying? To compare to love, because love can slowly extinct. Because I had so many people that loved me, man, was hating me this whole time. Because a lot of people don't really know how to love because they wasn't shown love. But I just think that's such a cliche because if love is in you, you should be able to give it and express it.
Right.
Because I'm never been like the type, because my upbringing, I was pretty much like just a child that just went on with the flow. I ain't gonna put all my mama business out because she be watching me, but I had to adapt to my environment. I had to adapt to not having a father, and I was in a house full of women. My sister, my mother, and my older brother was already out the house. So I really didn't have nobody to teach me how to be a man. So I just knew that whatever they was doing, I couldn't do that shit. So I had to go to outside to learn how to be masculine, learn how to be a man, just do man things and have certain man characteristics. So I just had to, you know, evolve into that. but it allowed me to just really see just how strong our women are. You know, we always came from strong women,
Always,
and nowadays, and
always.
nowadays it just they too strong. I just think that they try to be more physically strong than emotionally strong and mentally strong. And I ain't saying all women before they all come at me, but it just seems like it's more of a verb than actual adjective.
Hmm. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's by circumstance. I feel like
Hmm.
a lot of them truly don't want to portray that, but it's almost like evolution at this point. They done been in a certain type of condition for so long. Now they actually taking on like that the characteristics of the man, which is the strength you talking about. Because you know the history. They forced the man out the household, made it more beneficial for the black man to be out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They created the condition and they knew what the result would be. And now we live in that result. You know, now that women out here thinking that they can literally bench press more than me or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we at with it.
Absolutely. And it's just I always come across Benny Siegel than India Ari so far. So I just I don't get it. I'm like, damn, like I don't need all this masculine energy. I
Yeah,
got that.
right,
I'm good.
right.
But I just need to, have somebody be like, hey, how you doing? Did you eat today?
That's it.
How how are you? How's your mental? That's all I want. I don't like all that
Got
roughness
to
and hardness.
them and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just scary. So,
I'm already here. I ain't got time. Nobody got time for that. Sit down somewhere, man. Like, we don't have time for that. It's still some men out here. Like, we out here putting in work, trying to provide for everybody, you know, so we ain't got time to be on wrestling with you when we get to the crib, man. Like you say, man, we want to just ask us about the day, ask us about the mental. That's it. We just trying to chill.
oh yeah, hell yeah, man. We just trying to chill. We're trying to build,
Yeah,
and it just a lot of people don't really understand how hard it is to make yourself become a brand and make yourself known, just starting from scratch. Because nowadays it just people see that you're doing your thing and they think that you have your own following. It became easy, but having a platform and having yourself as like a motivational speaker. I don't know if you title yourself
yeah.
that, but I got motivated from watching a few of your videos, so I'm gonna call you a motivational speaker.
I take it.
But yeah, it's just I I see just a lot of jealousy amongst our people because it's like um a lot of people just want things handed to them. They like things given to them, but they don't like to really be with you when you start from the bottom. When you start from scratch, they laugh, they criticize, they just try to count you out. But then as soon as you blow up, as soon as you begin to build your following, all of a sudden, like they think you better than everybody. And I'm like, did y'all see me start this from the ground up? Like I didn't. Shit, I ain't had this, no inheritance, no nothing. I had to work, and just a lot of people who don't understand that. And you being a YouTuber, as long as you have, like, did you ever come across anything like that?
Man, I've been coming across that for like the last 10 years of my life, man.
Hmm.
Man, I'm talking about smiling in your face, whole while praying on your downfall, all that type of energy, man. That's why I don't even call it an inner circle, man. Like I said, if anything, I roll with like I got a C. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got a complete circle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I like
I'm,
that. I like that.
I'm like a lot of people that know me know I roll solo dolo for the most part when it comes to things like that, man. Because when I opened my own gym, man, a lot of people was telling me don't do it. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, that's a bad idea. Because I opened it right in the middle of the pandemic. But I'm already, it's my vision.
Hmm.
I know at the end of the day, I believe in what I do. So I'm like, if I open this gym, I know how to get people in there. So this ain't necessarily a bad idea for me. But then I start to share it with people. And the people that you would like to count on the most, those were the ones that was dishing out that doubtful energy the most. And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. My dude K Reno, one of my favorite rappers, called them dream assassins. You know what I'm saying? So the people that you share your dreams with, man, they striving to assassinate the dream soon as you dish it out there. And it's a lot of people. It was a lot of people around me that was like that, man. Every dream that I would share with them, they striving to assassinate it, striving to shoot it down. So I just stopped sharing things with people, man. I was like, y'all just gonna see the finished product, you know, because it was a lot of that energy, man. And on the real, a lot of that energy, it prevented me from doing the things faster. Like I could have been on YouTube, I could have been had a gym, I could have been doing all of what I'm doing now, but I was letting that energy back in the day get to me until I said, you know what, man, I forget all of y'all, man. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm striving to build, and that's when I really started to put things into motion. When I separated myself from all of that doubtful energy that was around me, you know, so I had to disconnect from a lot of close friends and family members. But now it's elevating and evolving now, so it's all good. Now they act like they believed in you from the jump.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Man. Yeah, it'd be so funny because my mom didn't know, because I ain't tell my mom about my platform. She heard it through one of her neighbors from her old apartment complex, and they was like, yeah, your son doing big things, and Miss Brown and this and that, and she was like, what? And then she called me, and she was like, what's this show people telling me about? And I was like, yeah, I started my own platform, my podcast. And she's like, why you ain't telling me about it? Like, because you would have just been dismissive of it.
Right. Good.
Yeah, so I allow word of mouth to get to her, and it was cool because I got invited to this like podium of like, it was pretty much 8 panelists. I was in the first chair, so she actually seen me into action and stuff like that, and I was talking my shit that night too. Like I had all the females mad at me and shit because I just wanted to add on that realness to it, because I kind of sensed there was some politically correctness with that. So I just was like, I ain't wearing no suit. I'm dressing in my regular clothes. I'm going up there, smash mouth. I don't give a fuck who got a problem with me. I'm going to speak my mind. So they was talking about, I like to I beat up my man before and stuff like that. So I'm just listening to this like how come y'all just let her say these things? You know, I was just really listening, just kind of like disgusted by it. So we used to talk about domestic violence, and I went through a domestic relationship before, and I ain't gonna say that I put my hands on women, but I would knock a bitch out quick if she put her hands on me. That's the self-defense.
Right.
So they was talking about how they hit their man and this and that. And so question came to me. They was like, so what would you do in that situation? I'm like, shoot, I had somebody do that to me and I knocked their ass out. Everybody was just quiet. Everybody was stunned. Everybody was like, ooh. I was like, shit, motherfuckers need to learn to get their fucking hands to themselves. Like, you know, we got feelings too. We bleed too. Like, my name ain't Spartan. My name is I have a name. I'm a person.
Right.
You know, so keep your hands to yourself. And they was all mad. They didn't even shake my hand after that. I'm like, I don't care. Shit, I stood my ground.
Right.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? About beating on us.
Exactly. Because they don't think we can be victims, man. They don't think we can be victims of domestic violence. Because when I told that story to, like, my friends and stuff, they were laughing. Because they like, man, you a big-ass dude, man. You 6'5", 280, man. What the hell you scared of? Like, why you let her put her hands on you like that? And I'm like, dog, like, I didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when you seen it firsthand, like, it was like a part of me was still that child that couldn't do anything. And that, like, really traumatized me for a minute because I said when I grew up, I didn't want this in my house, and I wasn't gonna do that to nobody. So I was with this girl, and she started to like put her hands on me, man, and it was kind of like, dang, like I gave you a place to stay. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm washing your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Not as no simp or no sucker, but if you my girl, I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
right.
care of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cater to you, and it wasn't enough, and I felt so hurt. I felt so betrayed, man, and it was just kind of like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta whatever I need to do to get my sanity back, get my happiness back. I gotta do something. So first, it just really start with accountability. It started with why did I allow this to continue as long as I did, and a part of me just wanted to be loved, wanted me to feel like appreciated. Because at that time, it was just I was going through a lot and shit,
Yeah.
but it just everybody just doesn't see from our point of view how dangerous it can be because it's not a gender thing, it's a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to first ask ourselves why we put up with certain shit and then come to realize like we seen this before. This is familiar to us and shit. Most of the time, and just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's good for you.
Hey, that's 100% right and exact. I got a book that talks about that. It's called like intimate partner violence, and it talks about the male victims. You know, that mug is deep, but and hey, a lot of I'm gonna kind of flip it on you. You know, sometimes we may allow that to happen in fear of what we could do if we retaliate. So sometimes I might, hey, you know what I'm saying? If the chick putting her hands on me, I might not respond because I'm like, if I do, I might kill her.
Yeah, that's how I was.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, she don't know. Like I might kill her if I respond. So it's like sometimes you might tolerate it just off of that.
Yeah, I did.
Man,
I did.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you know, that I'm right along with you on that note. I'm like, man, don't put your hands on people. It applies to both sides. I'm not about to just let a woman just hit me, beat on me. Like that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let a dude do that. I'm not gonna let a woman do that. I'm not letting anybody just put their hands on me. That's gonna stop. Like I'm checking that. I don't care who it is, regardless of whom or what. Like I don't care who that is. So I'm right with you on that one.
Of course, man, and I just had to like tell myself that if you don't do anything about it, then shoot, because there's a lot of men that's in the cemetery over women. There's a lot of men that's in prison over women. So I just was like, damn, like, how can I let this happen? But
Right.
I just look at it like as a lesson learned and stuff like that. And it just be a lot of dudes, man, because I wasn't bitter. I just felt like, well, I'm actually grateful that she came into my life because she changed me. Because I was so passive, I was so just, oh, it's never mind, and you know. But now I'm very assertive. I don't take no shit. I don't take no prisoners and shit. Because I look at it like I'm the blessing. You're not.
That's how it is.
So it's all good though. But I'm gonna quit talking about my tragic shit. But
so true, man. We got to vent, man. You know.
Oh, absolutely,
Black
absolutely,
men,
man.
you don't
But
do it enough, bro. So I always
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying? Tell your story. Get it off your chest. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just had realized, man, that I was in a trauma bond, bro. I wasn't in no relationship, and that's like the hardest reality check ever when you find out about trauma bonding and a person just chooses you because they see you as prey, and it's
Yeah.
actually people that come into your life to ruin your life.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
And I was so like oblivious to all of this because I ain't gonna say that I was green, but I was very naive because it was a time that I used to think that everybody had a good heart and everybody loved me like I loved them, and that
No,
wasn't the case. And
sir.
and then that vulnerability, because I experienced a lot of grief with losing people as well. So that grief, man, will like change you to a person that you would never thought you would become.
Mm-hmm.
So us as black men, like we taught that the only thing we're good for is our sexuality. We ain't taught that it's okay to be smart, it's okay to be different. Even when you use big words, oh, you sound like a white boy, or you think you're white and shit
Right.
like that. I'm like, what the hell is that about? Like,
And I'm telling you, I used to get that all the time. Because I'm
yeah,
expanding my vocab. Now I got to be white. Like, come on, man.
it's just I would always get picked on because I would be on the bus reading a book and people would clown me like, oh, this nigga think he's smart. He think he this. He think he's better than us. And I'm like, what the fuck is that about?
We
Like,
community that, bro.
yes.
Oh, he's studying for his test. Who he think he is? Man, what? Like, that don't even make any sense.
Yeah. And then you have these other cultures, bro, like that's really training their kids on academics and math and taxes and stuff like that. And we so way behind on everything. And I just think that, just a lot of us, well, a lot of people who aren't Black Americans, man, like they benefit off Black Americans a lot because we have the most spending power of everybody. Like we make everybody rich.
But ourselves.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to like really get people on that because it's like they feel like today, new Jordans came out. People still talking about Jordans. I'm like, don't you think you have enough pair?
Man. Yeah, that kind of shocked me.
Yeah, me too. I was like, damn, this is all on my timeline, and I'm like, we still on that, and Michael Jordan and Nike laughing at us, and I'm just gonna get it because they talking about they was gonna boycott Nike because of Kyrie situation, but yet they're going to go buy some Jordans. You don't think Nike is not profiting off our ignorance?
Bro,
Jordan don't own Jordan.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. And then if I come out with a sweatshirt that costs $60, they're going to tell me my sweatshirt is too expensive, but you finna pay $200-$300 for some Jordans. But won't pay the $60 for a sweatshirt just to support somebody you've been knowing for like 20, 30 years. How that makes sense?
Man, you gonna hear like a deep sigh. You gonna hear you gonna hear somebody catch a deep breath. I had that happen to me when I charged somebody to come on my show because they wanted to come on my show. So I told them it's gonna be $100 to come on my show. Yeah. Bro, why you gotta be so unreasonable? I'm like, unreasonable. This is business.
Right.
I gotta eat too.
Right.
Man, come on, man. We've been knowing each other since we was kids. I'm like, hey, man, I gotta eat, dog. But they would go buy some Jordans. They would go buy it just unnecessary shit. That's ain't gonna last. Ain't gonna mean anything.
But don't want to throw you the 100. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me. Throw you the 100 for time.
Yeah. It just we have this mentality and it's like unfortunate because we have so many Black Wall Streets. I don't even know about that one, but we have so many Black Wall Streets, man. We took care of each other back in them days.
Yeah.
We looked out for each other back in them days, but now it's like, oh, it's a competition thing. It's a fashion show. It's chaos. It's this. It's that, and sometimes it just makes you like, what do I even bother? Like, because they ain't gonna listen. They ain't gonna take heed to what I'm saying, and they just think I'm blowing smoke. But I really care so much, bro. And I told people in my city, like, if you take me out, this city gonna go to hell because y'all took out one of the only people that care and trying to change things. Because I have really been working on things from behind the scenes and really trying to speak to the mayor and just formulate like a fundraiser or just march, especially like when the weather clear up because it's kind of
Yeah,
snow where
yeah,
I'm at. So we just trying to work something out because we so busy electing people that's not in our neighborhoods
right,
to represent
right.
us. And that's an oxymoron if you ask me.
Man, a big oxymoron. It makes no sense. How they supposed to change something? They not from here. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the history. Like, come on.
No, hell no. And I just want just for like somebody like a state representative or a senator or just a governor just to live in my block for a week and watch how all this shit will be clear up. Because they
Mm-hmm.
don't got to put up with it. And they call us animals, they call us savages, and shit, we didn't pick our homes, you know what I'm saying? We had to deal with our environments, and it's just a natural habitat to us, but it's just, you know, they get mad when you're not a product of your
Yeah,
environment. When you grow from those type of ecosystems and then become a shining serpent, and that's how I am. Like, because I had to really undergo just a lot of hoods and stuff like that. Because I lived in New York, I lived in St. Louis too, and I lived in Detroit. And Detroit was like everything that you expect.
hey, I could imagine.
Hell yeah, them niggas grimy, bro. Like it was so funny because I remember one time I was coming out the barbershop getting my hair cut, and I seen like 5 niggas beat up this white girl and shit. And she said the N word, right? So she got stumped, and she was just like, hell, hell. But I was just across the street whistling like shit. Like I ain't gonna get my ass whooped.
Right.
Shit, fuck that. But I learned a lot. You know, I seen like a lot of houses that still was ruined from the riots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it just gave me a lot of just perspective because, well, my city it ain't so bad. I ain't gonna say that it's like a war zone, but it really just allowed me to appreciate where I came from because it really was an eyesore going outside sometimes and just seeing a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of burnt up houses, broken glass, and drug paraphernalia on the ground a lot.
So,
It really allowed me to not be so judgmental and stuff like that. And I met some of the greatest people down there as far as homeless people, and they just didn't have nothing. They still treated you with respect.
right.
And you run across people with money and they have everything, but they the biggest egotistical jerks ever. And just not
Man,
fair
yeah,
sometimes, man.
I'm already knowing. I used to work in the banks, man, so I used to see that firsthand. People with the money, man, they feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have too many good conversations with some of them. They just felt entitled, man. They felt like everybody was supposed to bow down to all their wants and needs. Like they was top priority. I'm like, man, I'm not about to associate with folks like that.
Oh yeah, man. And I'm just really on to like bigger and better things. I really get into the youth and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Trying to speak at some churches and speak at some school assemblies and stuff, and just really just take a kid under my wing, man, because I really had to learn this on the way. I really didn't have a lot of examples. I just wanted to just use my voice and speak my mind. And as you can see, you know, we both lived a very interesting young life. So,
yes, sir.
so we just, you know, trying to just get the people, man, just to be able to um, just give us a chance because they always like to shoot you down when you're young. You know, they like, oh, you young, what you know about? You don't know nothing. You still wet behind the ears.
Yep.
Like, excuse me?
Used to tell me that all the time. That's why I stayed getting into it with my elders, man. Like,
Yeah.
Because we young, we don't know nothing. Like, come on, man. Knowledge ain't got no age attached to it. Wisdom ain't got no age attached to it. I know some old fools, man.
Oh man, hell yeah! It seems like now it's like a huge shift that happened. Like, cause I like to use this comparison, cause like back in the '60s, everybody was so mature, so like well mannered and stuff like that. Like, it was a huge difference from being 30 in the 1960s compared to being 30 in 2022.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, you know. It's just like you see like the old dudes trying to be more like us. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be getting my advice or knowledge, whatever you can give me, from you. So if you don't have nothing to give it to me, then shit, I'm stuck.
Yep.
I'm wandering in the wilderness, I guess. So it just kind of like hard sometimes, bro. But like pretty much everything that I always wanted to know, I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, that's how I had to go about everything. Because when I tried to tap in to a lot of the OGs at the time, like you say, man, the advice that they were giving me was just not the proper advice. It didn't sit well in my gut, you know, and it was coming from, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was coming from a sellout perspective. You know, they don't be,
oh yeah,
a lot of times they don't be understanding their revolutionary energy because they might have been working their job for 20, 30 years. They comfortable, you know, so they don't see the lens from that young perspective anymore. We out here trying to fight the system. They trying to keep a job, and they weren't looking at me as a person that I'm thinking of creating my own jobs, you know. So they was giving me a lot of sellout advice, and this was coming from elder black men, you know what I'm saying, giving me this sellout advice, and I used to clash with them. I got the most revolutionary advice from the sisters, believe that or not. It was the older black men that I was looking to for that guidance. I'm like, look, man, hey, this system discriminating against me, man. This is what I'm thinking about doing, woo, woo. And they like, man, oh, you need to cut your hair, you know what I'm saying, and work, telling me all that type of nonsense, man, that I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work, man. You know, so I had a lot of clashes with a lot of the OGs back then, man, because I was looking for that guidance. I was looking for somebody to lead me in that direction that I knew was right and exact. And when I didn't get it, I just kept going. I had to do it myself. And here we are today. All the stuff they said I couldn't do, I have done it.
Yeah, man. And I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you for just having principles, man, and just sticking by your plan, because a lot of people fold these days because it's easy to conform these days. And when you don't, it's like you have to go through the most scrutiny. And I always kind of been a rebel myself. I eat at lunch, you know, when I'm at work, I eat by myself.
Yeah, hey, for real, that's how I used to do it. Straight up, man.
And they just be looking at me like, you know, damn, like, you don't have any friends? Like, I got friends, but y'all motherfuckers ain't my friends.
Right. Yeah, I got people I rock with, just not y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hell yeah, because it's just easy to fall off victim, man. And I'm all about being a survivor. I've been just trying to just meet and network and connect with leaders, man, because leaders need leaders, man, bro.
For real, like straight up, and people don't understand that reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, just like the therapist needs a therapist. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on now.
yeah, and I just feel like, you know, just us, bro. Like what you do with your platform and stuff like that. Like I said, I learned a lot from you, and I'm actually been a fan like from a long time, man. So
right on.
This is, so even though I was interviewing you, man, this was like a dream come true for me, man, because I just always embrace those people, man, because us as YouTubers, bro, like, we don't really get a lot of our flowers, man. They just think like we just be streaming and going live and just love to hear ourselves talk, but it takes a lot of courage to speak to, and you got like a huge following compared to me, but it just takes a lot of courage to do that. And
yeah, it takes a lot, bro.
Yeah, and
on top,
thank you.
The regular jobs that we working and doing, Like I don't consider myself the most social person. You know what I'm saying? I keep to myself a lot. So to get on camera and just talk for about an hour, hey, that was at first I was uncomfortable doing that. I didn't like to talk like that. You know, so it takes a lot. People don't really understand the science of like streaming and, you know, pursuing a passion, man, or, you know what I'm saying? You just feel like you got to accomplish this in life. Like, I feel like that's my calling, you know, to teach a certain message to a certain population. So I don't even feel like I have a choice. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I have to do it. So people don't understand that science. Like, it's something I feel like I have to do, whether I want to do it or not. I just got to get up and I got to stream, whether it makes me comfortable or uncomfortable. It's something that has to be done. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. I feel like it's in my blood. Like, this has to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And you got all those books, so you gotta utilize that also, bro. Like,
gotta teach it.
Yeah. Of course, man. And so sometimes the student become the teacher and the teacher becomes student.
Man, hey, for real, I always stay the student. I'm a student of life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always learning. I'm learning from everybody and everything.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. I hate to end this interview, man. But just tell us where can everybody else find you and stuff like that, and what's your up and coming projects that you got going on.
Okay, bet. Yeah, on IG, obviously y'all can find me, Almighty Vegan. Facebook, type in my government name. That's Eric Bill. You should be able to type that on YouTube too, Eric Bill. You should be able to find me. Them like the only platforms that I fool with for real. As far as upcoming projects, man, I'm working on some books right now. You know, some motivational books and like some metaphysical type of books, man. So about the beginning of the year, I plan to go hard with the book. So before we hit the spring, I should have 2 books published. So that's really what I'm working on now, man. And then I'm working on just getting this public speaking ball rolling as far as traveling to other cities and getting the message out. So that's another thing that I'm working on, man. Trying to travel, get the message out, books. Then I'm also working on starting up like a virtual book club so that, you know what I'm saying, we can, again, each one teach one. You know, I got these books, I got to start something up with it. So those like my main 3 things that I'm working on, man. This book club, publishing these 2 books, and then, yeah, basically all of that. That's where we at with it.
And that's what's up, bro. And again, thank you for coming, man. And we're going to keep in touch, man. Anytime you want to come, bro, just let me know. You're always welcome.
For sure. I appreciate you having me, my brother.
All right, bro. Man, you take care, man. And
all right,
have a good night.
You too, man. Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.